Hello, thank you all for joining to Falak's webinar series. Joining us today is Dr. عامر السيف, founder and CEO of Tabib Group. دكتور, تبغى تتعرف على نفسك وعلى طبيب جروب؟
أهلا وسهلا بكم وبالجميع، وشكرا حسن وفلك على المبادرة الجميلة. أخوكم الدكتور عامر السيف, مؤسس تطبيق مجموعة طبيب وكرنتلي السي او للتطبيق. If you need me to go through the app, وإيش نعمل بالضبط؟
Just give a brief overview. Yeah, I think it'll be good.
طيب, احنا اسم التطبيق مجموعة طبيب. We're available في الايتون, المتجر ابل وجوجل بلاي. بدينا التطبيق في 2015. في السابق بدأت الفكرة على أساس إنه إحنا نحجز مواعيد through the app للأطباء, يعني concierge of medicine. الناس تدخل تحجز مواعيد للأطباء في أي مستشفى through one app, يعني through one single click. Then we have realized that this business model need to be improved and developed. غيرنا الكونسبت شوية, صارت الناس تحمل التطبيق عشان تحجز عروض فقط من التطبيق, بدل ما تحجز مع الطبيب تحجز البرنامج اللي يقدمه الطبيب. الآن نقدم عروض حصرية بضمان أقل سعر في عدد معين من التخصصات, مثل for example جلسات ليزر إزالة الشعر, الهير ريموفل, سكين كير, خدمات السبا, الدنتال كير. The users, they download the app, they register, and they buy the offer with a high discounted rate through the app, وبنصدر لهم الفاتورة وبنحجز لهم الموعد. So we are a coupon model, but we have added a one extra value الخاصة بحجز المواعيد.
Hello, thank you for that overview. So Tabib Group is one of the companies that Falak has invested in. And we've been tracking and working with Tabib Group for quite some time. And I think what we wanted to do was we wanted to make this a very open conversation about how we managed prior to COVID and how we managed with Tabib Group now during COVID times, what kind of decisions we took. And keep in mind, we're going to try to keep this as transparent as possible. So that we enable learning for other entrepreneurs and startups out there as well. Now, just to give you a bit of a background idea, we started working with, as Falak, we injected about $1 million into Tabib Group. We started working with them around close to the middle of last year, where their sales or their gross monthly revenue was close to about $1 million per month. Over a 3 quarters period, we were able to triple that number. In a short period of time. We went through high level of scalability. We assisted in increasing employees from 34 prior in the middle of last year to about 50 employees during the duration of the program. And I can tell you hands-on, definitely one of the best crisis management teams that we've worked on together. The company was extremely proactive and not reactive. We had extremely difficult and heated debates and discussions daily, weekly, through messages, through phone calls, on new revenue sources, on existing ones, on targets, on what the teams are doing, on high level of data disclosure. I really appreciate that from the team, because they're always active and on top of things and regularly provide me with this update to investors as well. Now, I think the surprising thing is, or what we witnessed was, so as I mentioned, we reached a max cap of about 3.5 million reals per month of revenue. Ja COVID, and as you can imagine, revenues were impacted, right? So a segment حقهم is the clinics went through closure. Tabib Group went through, within a span of a couple of weeks, went through a loss in revenue on their core business of more than 80 to 90%. But I do want to tell you, even with that drop in number, Tabib Group is cash flow positive and net income positive at this point in time, which is phenomenal and unbelievable to see with a company whose main segment is close at this point in time. Now, there's a couple of things that were done. The team, I mean, we were very active with them on crisis management, right? So even before Falak closed its doors, we started working with the team to kind of prep them on what to expect looking at global trends, right? So we started having difficult discussions with them. Even though closures were not announced, we started pushing our teams to think about closures to their customer segments, build in revised budgets, look at loss in revenue that is expected to come, and come back to us of a plan within a couple of days on how to cut costs. And we went through that with them step by step to look at where they were cutting costs. Now, for somebody like Tabib Group, I know, so tell us a little bit about the revenue and kind of the new revenue sources that we worked out sort of during Corona times, right? So we mentioned we lost 80% of revenue. We started having a discussion on how do we revamp existing sales and how do we look at new sales channels as well. Talk to us about the process and kind of what you went through to figure out the new revenue sources that we just launched. So just to let people know, we were selling coupons. We launched 2 additional revenue sources, which is on the education side, and also pharmacy products being sold through the application.
Of course.
Go ahead, doctor.
احنا حسن طبعا مجرد ما بدأت الأزمة هذه the first thing that we have decided إنه إحنا نشكل يعني لجنة خاصة لإدارة الطوارئ أو لجنة أزمة يعني how we're going to manage المشكلة هذه، كيف نتعامل معاها، نبدأ نحلل إيش الحاجات اللي بنشوفها what is the expectation that we're planning to do. فيعني اجتمعنا وبعدين شفنا الأزمة هذه إيش ممكن نخرج منها بفوائد at least يعني what are the people are seeking to have at this period of time يعني. فبدأنا بفكرة اللي هي السانيتايزيشن بوكس اللي هو كان اسمها الحقيبة الوقائية. كانت فكرة ممتازة جدا. الحقيبة الوقائية كان قدمناها من خلال التطبيق، تحتوي على مجموعة من الايتمز الخاصة بهذه الفترة، الخاصة بالوقاية من المرض، مثل المعقمات، الجل، ميزان الحرارة، الماسكس والجلوفز. هي في حقيبة شكلها جدا محترم بشعار طبيب وعليها بعض النصائح عملناها. we have يعني حطينا فيها مبلغ محترم and then we have started to sell البرودكت هذا through the app. كانت النتائج ممتازة جدا، أكبر مما كنا نتوقع. Then also we have thought إنه to add another products، فأضفنا 3 منتجات رئيسية في التطبيق. المنتج الأول كانت الحقيبة الوقائية. المنتج الثاني كانت طبعا العيادات أقفلت، ضروري جدا عشان كذا أنا دائما أقول لإخواني اللي هم رواد الأعمال we look into النظام. دائما وزارة الصحة، وزارة التجارة بتصدر أنظمة إيش الحاجات الشغالة، إيش الحاجات اللي ما هي شغالة. we look into النظام هذا on depth، ووجدنا فيه من ضمن النظام إنه جميع العيادات تقفل عدا خدمات الأسنان الخاصة بالطوارئ. طيب، we have focused، استشرنا الجهة القانونية عندنا، so they advise us إنه yes we can go through it and we can start to provide offers related to حالات dental emergency. تواصلنا مع العيادات مرة ثانية، بدأنا حطينا خطة عمل، نزلنا عروض خاصة بطوارئ الأسنان حطيناها في الصفحة الرئيسية. قدرنا برضو نعمل من خلالها مبيعات جيدة. فكانت السانيتايزيشن بوكس، خدمات الطوارئ للأسنان، وكذلك الخدمة الأخيرة اللي أضيفت لاحقا اللي هي خدمة التوصيل من قبل الصيدلية. فكنا دائما أي خدمة نشوفها جديدة نبغى نقدمها ندرس إيش حوالين هذه الخدمة من احتياجات. يعني مجرد ما دخلنا في الصيدلية على طول سجلنا في الهيئة السعودية للاتصالات وتقنية المعلومات، حاولنا نرخص التطبيق. كذلك الخدمات المرتبطة بطوارئ الأسنان أخذنا عليها موافقة من وزارة الصحة. والسانيتايزيشن بوكس حاولنا جميع الحاجات اللي نشتريها تكون من مرجعية موثقة معتمدة من قبل وزارة التجارة وأيا كانت القطاع هذا. Then we have started وبدأنا وانطلقنا فيهم، وحتى الآن بنبيع منهم. يعني إلى فضلا عن ذلك لسه ما زالت الناس بتشتري العروض اللي موجودة في التطبيق، على أمل إنه يعني things will get back soon إن شاء الله better.
So what you did is you had 1 revenue source or 2 revenue sources, and you launched 3 additional revenue sources during Corona time. I know based on our discussions weekly, we evaluated maybe 10 revenue sources or so, right? We looked at telemedicine, we looked at doctors visiting to the houses, apart from the sanitization packages and the things that you mentioned. كيف كان البروسيس to pick between the revenue sources? What was the most important factors that you took into account, whether looking at a long-term view, short-term view, whether looking at competition, sort of analyzing market trends, how to manage between resources and the revenue that you can generate from this as well? So, Yani, talk to us about, Yani, okay, so we came back and we were pushing you, for example, on pharmacy. Why did you decide to start in pharmacy?
والله يا حسن مرة السؤال مهم. أنا أقول لك، أنا بالنسبة لي أنا وفريق العمل صراحة واحدة من الحاجات الأساسية اللي اعتمدنا عليها في وضع خطة العمل بكل أمانة كان البيهيفير psychology of people. خلاص، يعني الناس اول يوم في الكورونا، اول يوم في ازمه الكورونا فيروس كان لها احتياجات، بعد مرور اسبوع كان لها احتياجات مختلفه، الاسبوع الثالث للامانه كانت الناس بتحاول قدر المستطاع تبتعد عن المرض، تبتعد عن الطبيب and they start to take care of themselves، زي الفتنس، الرياضه، برامج رجيم زي كذا. الاسبوع الرابع الناس تبدا تحضر للخروج. فانا اعتقد انه خلال الأزمة هذه حقت الكورونا always you have to look into short term objectives، لأنه الفيجن أو راح يتغير بشكل مرة سريع، لأنه الأحداث كانت في أزمة الكورونا جدا جدا متسارعة. أنا شخصيا أرى that خلال الأزمات الشخص اللي مفترض they don't need to put a big investment في منتج معين له بعد نظرة زمنية قصيرة جدا. فأنا مثلا على سبيل المثال when we have started to work on the telemedicine it took little bit time، أخذ مننا تقريبا أسبوع 10 أيام نشتغل عليه، يمكن وصل تقريبا أسبوعين. when we have reached the date to launch the telemedicine we have realized that the people needs اختلفت، صارت الناس أصلا ما عاد تبغى تشوف طبيب ولا عاد تبغى تتكلم مع طبيب، حتى لو هو مريض ما يبغى يتكلم، خلاص الناس فعلا تبغى تبتعد عن الوسط الطبي. فهذا اللي أنا أقصده، إنه كانت التغييرات سريعة جدا. so that's why always look into the psychological part of the business and also the business plan اللي انت حتعمله للcontingency plan لابد يكون قصير ومحدود وتدرسه بشكل جيد هل هو الآن مطلوب أو لا.
صح. And I think I just want to clarify on that point. So when you say a short-term view, I don't think you mean it in terms of outlook of that potential revenue source in the longer term, right? I think you're talking more so on resources needed in a short period of time, how quickly you can revamp or re-offer or structure this to be offered in a short period of time with little resources input. But always keeping in mind a long-term view as well, right? So I think within your 3 sources that you launched, you had something that had a short-term view, which is probably the sanitization packages, which you expect will sell sort of in these times and probably expect to go down thereafter. Right?
يعني أنا بس أبغى أضيف حاجة مثلا حسن. الآن مثلا اليوم لو بدأت الآن تبيع مثلا منتجات الحقيبة الوقائية ما راح يكون عليها الإقبال زي الإقبال اللي كان عليها في اليوم الأول.
صح.
عرفت كيف؟ لأنه الآن
that was a short-term revenue to offer you some level of cash. But the other 2 that you started have a good longer-term outlook given how behavior is changing, right? So people are naturally getting used to further digitalization, ordering groceries and pharmacy products online in any case. And to get the Tabib Group having a user base or followers of 4 million connected within the healthcare ecosystem, it makes it very easy to kind of be able to offer this to them. So it's a long-term view on this revenue source, but just timing made sense at this point in time, given resources were
100%. يعني أنا أبغى أضيف حاجة، إنه إحنا لما بدأنا ننظر إيش الفرص اللي ممكن نشتغل عليها وفكرنا مثلا في موضوع التوصيل حق الصيدلية، للأمانة we have been surprised من حجم الطلب اللي كان موجود على الصيدلية للتوصيل. فهذا أعطانا يعني الآن بعد جديد، إنه إحنا مجرد ما تنتهي الأزمة we will look يعني seriously into invest بشكل كبير جدا في adding another revenue stream into the app مرتبط بالصيدليات والتوصيل ومتجر الجمال والأمور هذه كلها. ما كان عندنا أبدا في الطبيب نية إنه إحنا نبيع منتجات أو نبيع حاجات متعلقة بالصيدلية أو التجميل أو شيء زي كذا، ولكن الأزمة هذه فعلا وجدنا إنه في فرصة كبيرة جدا للاستثمار في هذا الجانب، وفعلا بدأنا الآن يعني we are in touch with the development team and we start working on it very extensively and we're going to have it ما هو بالسمول سكوب اللي احنا موجود عندنا الآن، لكن راح نتوسع فيه بشكل جدا جدا كبير. الأزمة أعطتنا فرص إنه احنا نخلق فرص جديدة صراحة. يعني يعني أنا دائما أقرأ في كتب في المقالات في كذا إنه في الأزمات تخلق فرص، واعتقد انه احنا في طبيب قدرنا نطلع بفرصه او 2 نستفيد منها بشكل جيد ونستثمر منها بشكل اعلى للمستقبل.
You're absolutely right about this. And we had this discussion even prior to Corona, right? So we were pushing on your revenue sources, and this was always one of the discussions.
Yes.
And it's something that prior to Corona, you always pushed back on because you didn't want to distract resources at that point in time because you were going through high growth على existing revenue source that was available, coupons. And that changed within the first week of Corona with the trends, and the team started working to kind of push this, and they went live and tested this, and feedback has been great on that.
أنا أعتقد حسن يعني تنويع يعني للأمانة قبل يعني pre-corona is something and post-corona is something different. هذا اللي لازم يطلعوا منه كل رواد الأعمال. أنا أعتقد إنه أي business model قائم على مصدر دخل واحد، أعتقد إنه هذا أمر كارثي صراحة. لابد من تنويع مصادر الدخل بحيث إنه أنت you can cope مع الأزمات. حتى لو كان another revenue stream اللي أنت بتشتغل عليه منخفض، ولكن keep it there. invest on it بشكل أو بآخر، لأنه متى ما حصلت أزمة at least تقدر تسند عليه، تقدر تعتمد عليه. It's already there where you can launch it. ولكن الآن مثلا while you're in corona, some other مثلا رواد أعمال they want to start working on delivery, they want to start working on anything، بس هو ما عنده لا development ولا ال IT ولا ال equipment ولا حاجة. So at least keep it there. You will use it one day يعني.
You're right, and it differs for every company to company, right? And I think we'll touch base on that when you come to the cost side of the equation. I want to drill a bit more into the revenue. So we know the 3 revenue sources you decided on. Now I want to zone in a little bit more on the pharmacy. Now, when it comes to pharmacy, even okay, you figured out that this is a revenue source, but there's different business models that can be run, right? You can look at integration with a single pharmacy chain. You can look at multiple pharmacy chains as well. You can look at one-off stores. You can run different kind of revenue models with them as well. And how did you take a decision on sort of the right business model within the space and which party to go with? I know we had a discussion. So when we were looking at larger chains, or we were looking at larger chains because it made it easier to talk to a single pharmacy owner, connect to them on an inventory level to test this out, as opposed to going out and trying this with several in the start. So when you zoned in on this, how did you figure out the right business model and start this?
والله احنا اللي يمكن كان من حسن حظنا انه العيادات والمستشفيات اللي احنا بنشتغل معاها اصلا في طرح عروض التطبيق most of them, like for example 75% of them they own actually pharmacy, عندهم صيدليات. So كان بالنسبة لنا سهل جدا انه احنا we cope ونتواصل and we communicate مع الاونرز حقون العيادات هذه to reach into the pharmacy. طبعا كان في debate كبير انه ايش هم which level of pharmacy that we have to deal with. وجدنا انه الصيدليات الكبيرة جدا من غير ذكر اسماء definitely عندهم اصلا خدمات التوصيل موجودة وعندهم logistics كبيرة. فقررنا انه احنا نروح لمستوى الصيدليات المتوسطه. طيب حاولنا انه احنا نغطي جميع الاحياء. فور اكزامبل في جده يكون عندنا في كل حي او في كل منطقه 3-4 صيدليات، بحيث انه احنا نقدر يعني نوصل اكبر عدد من الخدمات او من الطلبات في جميع المناطق اللي موجوده في جده لصيدليات مستواها متوسط واقل، اللي هم اصلا they need to work on this to generate some income يعني، لأنه حتى هم كان عندهم limitations في التوصيل. كانت الصيدليات بمعنى آخر المتوسطة اللي هي ما عندها غير فرع أو فرعين، عندهم الصيدلية النظام كفل لهم إنه هم يفتحوا ويشتغلوا، ولكن no one was reaching to this pharmacy لأنه they cannot deliver وما عندهم access على الكاستمرز. فإحنا وجدنا إنه there is an opportunity there. We can have the pharmacy in our app and we can generate sales لأنه إحنا عندنا الكاستمرز اللي نقدر نوصله لهذه الصيدليات. So from there we have hit the pharmacies يعني.
That was a very smart use. Using the existing clinics to reach out to the pharmacy, so you don't have to use an additional distribution channel to try and sign them on.
Yes.
Talk to the same customers to try and deliver to. Very good to see that. And all of these things that we're talking about, they were researched, looked at, developed, executed within a span of 3 weeks while we looked at these revenue sources. And you're talking about this is during the month of from the middle of March till about the first week of April, and then they started testing this in the middle of April and went live to kind of launch this and push it forward at this point in time.
And it was really difficult that you have to work on all aspects at the same time: business model, development, relationship, logistics. انت كلها بتشتغل فيها في نفس التوقيت and you're going to launch it كلها مع بعض في نفس الوقت. It was challenging صراحة, but it was a very good experience.
صح, it was, and I mean, we definitely know that from our discussions. And I mean, it's been a lot of back and forth with yourself and the team, but it's always amazing to see this progress with a startup, right? As an investor, it gives a lot of comfort that your money is within the right hands, right? So, Hannah, we talked about the revenue source. I'll give you an idea of what was done on sort of the cost side as well. Now, for every startup, when they're looking at rebudgeting during this point in time, they generally, ideally what they should do is they should reclassify the expenses حقهم to 4 main categories. And me and Dr. Amir were having a discussion about this just earlier. So I think for simplicity, you can put that bucket as the first one is being salaries. The second one is general overheads, which is rent, electricity, marketing, etc. Then the third one is development costs. And the fourth one is software costs. So Google Business, Engine Yards, Cloud, etc. Now, the reason why we've done these 4 categorizations is because we realized this is the best way to be able to cost cut, right? So when you look at expenses that we said, say cloud or Engine Yards, these are expenses on the software side that you absolutely cannot touch, as you'll never be able to continue providing your service that you're offering, right? So these are an expense category that is out of control. Then you have the salaries buckets. The salaries bucket is the easiest one to have cost cutting on. Then you have the third category, other G&A. That is also possible or somewhat in control to be able to do cost cutting on. The development team is harder to do. And again, that is dependent on each company's situation as well, right? So within your case, sitting on cash, still have revenue, it makes sense to continue with development and you're unlocking other revenue sources, but يعتمد لكل company. Now for you, Doctor, I want you to talk to me about كل هذول categories and sort of what you did. I know overall you've done a cost reduction of 55% on the overall business within 2 to 3 week periods, from the start of April till تقريبا the second or third week of April, which is phenomenal to see. And we always tell entrepreneurs that cost cutting needs to happen in one go. It doesn't need to happen gradually. But how are you able to kind of achieve this 55% number on these categories?
والله يا حسن، شوف أنا أقول لك يا بكل أمانة، إحنا يعني أعتقد إنه واحدة من أهم الحاجات اللي خرجنا فيها من هذه الأزمة، وهي ما زالت قائمة ولكن إن شاء الله على نهايتها، إنه we have realized that we're really good into put an emergency plan. يعني فعلا حضرنا نفسنا مرة كويس لهذا البلان. and we have study، يعني حطينا أسوأ الاحتمالات، كم المدة الزمنية اللي هي ممكن تستمر، حطينا جميع الأوراق أمامنا and we have start to plan very well يعني للفيوتشر. فزي ما أنت ذكرت كانت أربع عناصر أساسية للإكسبانس. ناخذ الرواتب مثلا، أنت عارف تيم طبيب كان مرة كبير، تقريبا إحنا عدد موظفينا حدود 50، فكان it was not really easy إنك أنت، وبعدين إحنا سيرفيس آب تقريبا السالاريز يمثل أكثر من 70% من الكوست عندنا يعني تقريبا، ف it was really not easy. ولكن اللي فادنا فيها صراحة، أنا هذه النقطة حاب أشير لها، منشآت كانت خلال فترة الأزمة في البداية، أنا أثني على هذا الشيء، كانوا يقدموا برامج بالإضافة للبرامج اللي تقدمها فلك، برامج إنه كيف تتعامل مع الأزمة. صراحة أنا I have registered في كل المحاضرات اللي قدمتها منشآت كان فيها جلسات قانونية مرة كثيرة، we look in depth في القوانين اللي تقدمها التأمينات الاجتماعية، وزارة العمل، في الأمور الخاصة بالرواتب المتعلقة بالأزمات. then أخذنا أهم النقاط من هذه المحاضرات وعملنا presentation على الزوم زي ما أنت عامل كذا، ودعينا كل الموظفين على الزوم وأعطيناهم كل الخيارات اللي موجودة عندنا بالنظام. يعني إحنا يمكن better than other companies إنه the employees have left the company temporarily while they are happy and they are going to come back while again they are happy. يعني بعكس عدد كبير جدا من الشركات في القطاع الخاص اللي ما تعاملت مع هذه الأزمة بشكل محترف مع الموظفين. أعطيناهم الخيارات المتاحة اللي قدرنا ننقلهم على ساند، نقلناه على ساند. طبعا النظام يكفل لنا هذا الشيء. قدرنا ننزل في الرواتب للموظفين إلى أكثر من 80%. والحاجة المرة كويسة اللي كانت في طبيب إنه إحنا عندنا تيم موجود في السعودية وتيم برا السعودية، فيعني أثقلنا للأمانة الشغل خلال الأزمة هذه على التيم اللي خارج السعودية، لأنه كان الكوست تقريبا للرواتب يعني اقل بكثير جدا من الكوست اللي هنا في السعوديه.
I want to clarify something, Doctor. So none of the employees were let go, right?
No, never.
None of the employees were let go. So what
إطلاقاً.
you did, it was mainly a reduction in time and cost of theirs versus the time that they're offering. But كلهم still on payroll. Some of them who opted to take a break at this point in time, they took a short-term break. But everybody is still available.
We can go إذا حاب إنه we can go into the details إذا كيف إحنا تعاملنا مع الأزمة هذه الخاصة بالرواتب. I don't mind.
I don't think we need to go into further detail. I think what I want to highlight over here is you hired during Corona times. You didn't let go of anybody, which is very important for the morale of the team, right?
Yes.
It's extremely important to do this in one go. It's amazing that you set up the presentation, talk to the team. The more open you are with your communication, the more transparent you are with them, the more you share your objectives, show them where you are, how your business is impacted. They will realize the needs of having to reduce workload and salaries so that everybody continues to work with the company, as opposed to the other option, because if people don't agree to this and you come into a dire situation as a startup, then your other option becomes to let go of people, right? So the first option is the ideal one, and alhamdulillah to see that that's worked out with employees.
الجميل في هذه النقطة حسن إنه إحنا الآن نشتغل بقوة عاملة يعني human power تقريبا 80% less than الأيام المعتادة, while we are still working 7 days a week 24 hours. still يعني حتى الآن ما تغير شيء على العميل خاص بالتطبيق, ما شاف الشات مقفل, ما شاف حاجة. إحنا we're working 7 days a week 24 hours بhuman power 20% than usual, which is really excellent يعني.
It is amazing to see. What I do want to ask is 80%. How much of that was from the reduction in sort of payment to them, and how much was that from initiatives and grants that you benefited from? So you said 80%. Was it 40-40? And how much roughly did you benefit middle government initiatives from sort of signing up to these and getting support on them?
تقريبا 40%.
Hello. So half of it through cost cutting and half of it through support that's on the.
Yes, exactly. يعني إحنا we have covered 30% تقريبا, and the government have covered 70%.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was really good. Yeah, يعني مرة يعني طلعنا على النظام بشكل مرة جيد, استفدنا من كل الخدمات اللي تقدمها كانت الحكومة خلال هذه الفترة صراحة يعني.
Can you mention these initiatives so I know
تحساند وهدف وبنك التنمية الاجتماعية, ما خلينا قطاع we didn't knock the door يعني, and we have tried to reach to the right people and we have been involved. عشان كذا أنا دائما أقول إنه يعني during الأزمات اكتشفنا إنه you have to be in touch مع هذه القطاعات في تويتر في كذا, تشوف الإعلانات منشآت إيش بتقدم, then go there يعني knock the door and they will assist you. صراحة الخدمات الحكومية أو القطاعات الحكومية للأمانة يعني شهادة حق. You submit something, all what you have to do is to go to them and they will support you as soon as you reach there.
It's extremely important for the entrepreneur to be proactive and go look for these things. These are available online. People know about the initiatives. The government is pushing hard on this and providing support. Every entrepreneur needs to go and sign up to make use of these to help on the cost side حقهم. So Doctor, what about the other costs? So you mentioned the overhead, the development, expenses الثاني.
أنا كانت بالنسبة لي المفاجأة اللي حتى يمكن أنت كنت مطلع عليها حسن, إنه السالري we have managed to take it as I have said يعني 80% down, which was really fair good وفترة زمنية مرة قصيرة. The other يعني expenses اللي هو كان الاب development, we have realized إنه the app development should never ever stop. You should always continue to develop سواء خلال الأزمة أو الأيام الطبيعية. So never touch your development. Don't mess up with the main يعني development والتطبيق حقك هو main core business حقك. Don't play with it. Let the development to continue. So we haven't reduced a single penny in the development. بالعكس حطينا عليهم load أكثر خلال هذه الفترة to cope مع السانيتايزيشن مع الفارماسي.
This is more specific to your case given the multiple revenue sources and transactions.
المفاجأة كانت اللي هو كان العنصر الثالث اللي هو expenses, السيرفيس expenses للآب. طيب اللي هي زي ما أنت تفضلت, الانجين يارد, الكلاودينج سيرفيسز, المينتننس. طيب البيلز، التليفونات، هذه الامور اللي كانت فعلا مفاجاه انه it cannot be controlled خلال الازمات وما تقدر تنزلها. لكن كان you can do something لو انت اطلعت عليها في البدايه مع لما when you have sign up with these companies للعقود. So instead of having it yearly contract, it should be really a monthly contract. لانه يعني كان احنا نقدر نوفر مبالغ مره كبيره من هذه expenses. Some of them we are paying and we haven't utilized the service, but you have already a contract on it. So أنا دائما يعني الآن أعتقد إنه from now on المونثلي expenses هذه اللي مرتبطة بتشغيل التطبيق للمينتنس we will look into it really seriously and we will shift the contracts from being yearly into monthly contract عشان تقدر تتحكم في الاكسبنسز المتعلقة هذه النقاط. So الآن إحنا يعني
I think even for that, it's important to differentiate which ones are absolutely core and which ones are complementary, may and may not be used. But because the core, it's better to keep it yearly and cheaper cost and ممكن complementary so you can stop at any point.
But 100%. That's why you have to look into your expenses اللي هم monthly expenses هذه الservices. Look into them on depth. What are they really need to be yearly contract and what are the monthly contract زي الشات بوت، اللايف شات، الامور هذه كلها it could be postponed لسبب او لاخر، ولكن ما قدرنا نعمل هذا الشيء. عرفت كيف؟ اعتقد it was really challenging بس استفدنا منها مره كثير. يعني لما نرجع ان شاء الله definitely هذه الكونتراكتس we'll look into it.
Because every crisis, every challenge gives you learnings, right? And it's learnings for the future that you can reflect on business for a better and a more sustainable business.
100%.
Now, on overhead الثاني, so I know on the marketing side you've had a significant cut on the marketing budget as well.
الماركتينج انا حاب اضيف حاجه حسن هنا في الماركتينج، انه احنا من قبل ما تبدا الازمه كنا ننظر، يمكن انت حتى كنت مطلع على هذا الشيء، انه we look into our marketing a return of investment almost on daily basis 2 times a day. طيب فكنا حاسبين مره basically it's an hourly basis خلاص. فكنا نعرف كم ريال حنحط في التسويق وكم المردود منه بالساعه خلاص. when we have قبل ما بدأت الأزمة، لما بدأت الناس فعلا تتخوف من الخروج، when we have realized that there is a miss يعني something wrong is going on with the return of investment, we have took the decision to stop the marketing even earlier. قبل الأزمة هذه يمكن بأسبوعين 3 خلاص. so فعلا ما حرقنا كاش، ما حرقنا فلوس، لأنه اتخذنا القرار في الوقت المناسب بناء على الأرقام والداتا اللي كانت موجودة عندنا، لأنه we break it down on hourly basis. فبعض الشركات انا كنت اشوف مثلا الكومبيتيتورز لنا كانوا مستمرين في الاعلانات لانه they don't look into the data, they don't break it down, they have burned so much cash without any return of investment لانه خلاص الناس نفسيا بطلت تشتري في هذيك الفتره.
صح. I mean your target segment is closed. Your retention and churn is more important than burning على further customer acquisition at least at this point in time.
Yes.
But I think you did keep a little bit, or you reallocated part of that to test new revenue sources.
Yes, definitely. 100%. لما بدأنا نشتغل في العناصر الثانية we have start to inject some capital للماركتينج على هذه العناصر الجديدة and we have start to evaluate the return of investment. Basically بنحاول we try to understand and to learn the return of investment on these new revenue streams. وبعدين قررنا نتوسع فيها تدريجيا شوي.
There's a saying that people say that even monkeys can make money when the market is doing well.
Yes.
It's only at times like this when the performance and output of somebody who's very active with crisis management comes and showcases viability for the business based on the decisions that they're taking, a quick action, whether on the revenue side and on the cost side. وحتى على management of the team as well. I know quite a bit has changed in terms of how you've been working with the team a fair bit post-corona as well. Do you want to talk to us about that? How has it been at this point in time?
حسن معلش كان في disconnecting، لو تقدر تعيد السؤال بس.
So
كان في breakdown.
How has management of teams changed now, sort of post-COVID, compared to before?
أعتقد إنه واحدة من أهم الحاجات اللي يعني اكتشفناها الآن اللي هو الأونلاين. انا ما اعتقدت ابدا انه كان يوم من الايام حنقدر نشغل التطبيق او تدير مؤسسه through an online system. ولكن للامانه هذه واحده من اهم الحاجات اللي خرجنا فيها. اعتقد انا كان في البدايه حسن من الناس اللي ما اؤمن بالبارت تايم جوبز، ما اؤمن بالعمل المنزلي. كنت دائما احب اشوف الموظفين قدامنا سو كان يعني يكون التعاون والتواصل اسرع. ولكن اعتقد النظره هذه مره اختلفت الان. اعتقد انه we are going to invest into the online meetings والتوظيف كذلك، ولا مانع انه نوظف ناس يكونوا اصلا خارج المكتب. اعتقد everything could be managed through زي مثلا البيس كامب ممكن تدير فيها organization كامل in addition to the online سوفت وير زي اللي يقدمها زوم وكذا. it could be managed. هذه واحدة من أهم الحاجات صراحة اللي استفدنا منها.
The frequency of communication has changed apart from it becoming virtual as well, right? Well, reporting requirement that the team provides to you, coordination between the teams as well. I think a lot of times.
أنا حسن بس حاب أضيف نقطة. ترى إحنا في طبيب يمكن يعني يسجل لنا كريدت حتى لو يمكن حصل لك التقيت مع الموظفين عندنا. احنا اتخذنا القرار في تحويل العمل الى المنزل قبل ما يصدر القرار حق الحكومه ب10 ايام.
I can tell you it was the same for Falak. We did it the week prior.
Yes. So احنا اخذنا القرار، رتبنا الامور. We have settled everything انه to manage things through the online and virtual and it was successful. فبالتالي لما وقف العمل من المكتب ما شعرنا باي تغيير. كنا كلنا مستعدين ومرينا في التجربة هذه قبلها ب10 أيام واستفدنا من الأخطاء. يعني اليوم اللي وقف فيه البزنس عند كل القطاعات كانت تواجه مشاكل، إحنا basically we have utilized ourselves في ال10 أيام السابقة لهذه. اليوم الأول اللي صدر فيه القرار إحنا كنا already خلاص يعني متعودين وماشيين على الموضوع. بالعكس بدينا ننتج.
And I think I saw that with your team as well. Team coordination كان phenomenal. يعني we were working على data extraction معاكم. We were working to get some things ready. The coordination between the team, the consistency of data that's provided was nice to see, right? And I think a lot of times it's founders and partners أحيانا forget how important it is for the coordination between the team على daily progress, على task, to stay aligned على direction, to look at the new revenue sources, to brainstorm. It allows you to avoid overlap. It allows you to have one goal that you run towards, because the company is a lot of different moving parts, right? And if it's not organized or coordinated in the right way, one department or the other maybe will most likely not be moving in line towards the objectives that you want to get to under the company. And it becomes even more difficult in a period like this when you have short-term goals to launch these products. And it's nice to see that you were definitely on top of this. Nice to see that you were active with the team. حتى على salary cuts, you did not leave them in the dark. Frequent updates, frequent communication. حتى معانا, you were extremely regular. I know at times we were getting hourly updates على some of the metrics that you were talking about as well, especially during the first 2 to 3 weeks of the curfew as well.
Yes, 100%.
And I think that is a bit more psychological as well, right? You have a bit of fear when things start, so I can imagine that level of update. As an investor, it was good to see it. I think one of the things that I found slightly funny was Dr. Amir was it came back. I think one of the phone calls, he was a bit concerned على raising cash and going to external investors to raise money at this point in time.
Yes.
And I think we had that discussion a few times. Well, and now my feedback to the doctor was, Enter, you're sitting on a pile of cash that's above $1 million. You have leeway for more than 9 months. You're still selling at this point in time. You are better off than most. You're still net income positive at this point in time. You shouldn't consider raising cash at this point in time, maybe a couple of months down the road when business volume and new revenue activities pick up, to onboard strategic investors.
Of course. أنا هنا حسن هو هذه النقطة اللي كنت يعني in addition to what you have just mentioned, إنه إحنا زي ما يقولوا درسنا الأزمة، حاولنا كيف نتعامل مع الأزمة، والحاجة الآن اللي بدأنا نشتغل فيها إنه كيف راح يتعامل طبيب أو كيف راح يكون تعامل الناس، تعامل العيادات، تعامل بعد الأزمة. We have done a very complex analysis إنه how things will go after the outbreak هذا. So we are really ready. عندنا تصور كامل كيف حيكون الوضع، كيف حيكون السوق، where exactly we're going، كيف الناس حتتغير، يعني everything now. In other words حسن, we have left nothing for chances. ما في شيء للصدفة أبدا. البلان is ready. The day one that they said the clinics are open, we're ready to kick off our new plan.
I know, and again, we promised a high level of transparency, so I hope you don't mind that I'm going to mention this. 2 days ago was the announcement that, or not an announcement, there was a discussion on clinics that potentially clinics may open at a certain date, binaan ala meeting certain criteria that they need to set up. And I love to see what TG did after that. So they started seeing uptick on certain kind of offers potentially to come through. And then from the first day, started discussions, mal clinics to onboard some of these offers preloaded on the platform from the time that they open. So when they go to market and when they close, these are already available on TG, some exclusively as well to be sold to the customer. So they're ready from a supply perspective to potentially meet the demand when it opens up. And I think that was a very proactive, it was a great move to see. And I want to ask you this. So you've done so many significant changes to the business over the last month.
No.
How important was the accounting and finance and budgeting function, and how did it allow you to be able to do all of these changes?
والله it was very very important. طبعا الاكاونتنت والفاينانشال تيم it was اقرب لي الان اكثر من اي وقت مضى خلال هذه الازمه، لانه فعلا كنا ندرس شهر يعني يوم بيوم ويكلي اي انفستمنت زي اللي احنا بنتكلم عليه تطوير الديفلوبمنت. we always put a speculation، اذا عملنا هذا الشيء ايش المتوقع المردود، طيب لو ما كان في مردود كم صرفنا عليه. يعني هذه كان mainly the two main questions. يعني اي شيء حنشتغل عليه كم المردود، واذا ما نجح ايش حتكون نسبه الخساره. اعتقد البادجيتنج ل3 شهور it was ready. يعني احنا حاطين بادجت من basically budgeting لهذه الازمه من الان الى نهايه جون. يعني احنا مستعدين حتى لو طالت الازمه هذه الى نهايه جون. everything was ready يعني في البادجيتنج وفي الدوكيومنتيشن خاصه بالاكاونتنت والفاينانشال بلان. it's already there. اعتقد انها يعني اي شركه او اي رائد عمل لابد يكون القناه رقم 1 الاقرب له هو التيم حق البادجيتنج والاكاونتنج. متى ما كان موجود things will really get messed up very quickly.
So I think it allowed you on 2 or 3 factors. One is to pinpoint where you can cut expenses. One is to look at allocation of resources and where it makes sense with the revenue that's coming through. But then also, as we said, active crisis management within the budget. I know when we worked with you, we forecasted 3 months of 0 revenue at this point in time, although there is revenue, to provide investors comfort on a cushion that is available within the company as well.
Yes.
And extremely important for every startup to do that with their investors. Be as transparent as possible on this front. I think investors will always understand as long as they see these changes. I mean, smart investors will always have a long-term view, right? So these changes provide comfort to them in a longer term.
Yes.
Doctor, I wanted to ask you, there's a couple of things you do every day in the morning when you wake up, right? So for example, looking at categories and what's trending. Talk to us about some of these habits.
والله هذه يمكن من أجمل الحاجات اللي عملناها and I have shared it with you. أنا في خلال هذه الأزمة كنا نعمل في البيت. كنت أول شيء نسويه الصباح أول ما أدخل على التطبيق، قبل ما أشوف التطبيق أروح على الأب فيجر. I guess everyone knows app figure or app يعني if you ممكن أعتقد كثير ناس يعرفوه. وبشوف الكاتيجوريز. Okay, what are the top ranks apps في الابل ستور في الجوجل بلاي في كل مدن العالم اللي انت تتوقعها. خلاص في هذه الازمه. Yes, with basically not only within my category and within the other category. لانه كان هذا هو السورس الوحيد اللي تعرف من خلاله ايش السايكولوجي حقت الناس. خلاص وين رايح العالم. يعني فور اكزامبل اعطيك مثال الابس المرتبطه بالشوبينج. طيب I don't want to mention names. في الأسبوع الأول من الأزمة كان ترتيبها 300. طيب في الأسبوع الثاني من الأزمة وراحت للترتيب الثاني. فهذا يعطيك تصور عام عن السايكولوجي of the people. خلاص أحيانا حسن we have I have noticed a trend. يعني for example تشوف اب مره ناجح، او بمعنى اخر الاب هذا الان رانكت رقم 1 بس وين؟ مثلا في يوروب، في المانيا. طيب 2 weeks later تجد هذا الاب صار رقم 1 في السعوديه. خلاص بنفس الفكره بنفس التقارب. ليش؟ لانه هم they have started الازمه حقت الكورونا prior to us 2 weeks earlier. الترندنج والاب رانكينج على مستوى العالم في كل ويك هو نفسه موجود في كل مكان في العالم. عرفت؟ فكنت انا اعرف او اقدر اشوف next week what are the top app ranks is going to be in Saudi Arabia بناء على الترندز اللي كنا نشوفها على مستوى العالم. اعتقد هذه واحده من الحاجات اللي اعطتنا hence that we have to start working على الصيدليه، واعطتنا hence to that we have to start working على خدمات الطوارئ للاسنان، لانها it was trending وكنا نشوفها في الاب ستور رانكينج على مستوى العالم، مو فقط على مستوى السعوديه. even حتى في الميديكال كاتيجوري كنا يعني we look into the app ranking بشكل جدا موسع ومفصل، وندرسها ونحمل التطبيقات. يعني نحمل التطبيق في جوالنا عشان نشوف هذا ايش بيقدم، ليش الناس هذه راحت حملته، هل عملت حمله اعلانيه ولا لا. even we look into the marketing، يعني هل الناس حملته بسبب يعني budget that they have pushed into the market related to the marketing، ولا الناس حملته لمجرد they need the service. كنا بنشوف هذه التطبيقات بالتحديد اللي الناس حملتها لغرض انه without any budgeting، حملتها لاحتياج شخصي يعني.
And this helped you pick between the revenue sources and the timing for you as well when you evaluated. What other things do you do in the morning or throughout the day at this point in time? What other tips can you provide founders?
والله يعني أول حاجة اللي هي الترند، طبعًا الشغلة الترندing إيش اللي موجود في الماركت. النقطة الثانية اللي هو how's the sales are doing يعني currently في الوقت الحالي، وتعطيك مؤشر للمستقبل. So every day كان في meeting مع developers every day. One meeting to study the psychology of the market. This is the first meeting. The second meeting is with the accountant team to understand the budgeting and كيف الأمور ماشية، وهل إحنا ماشيين على الخطة ولا لا. Is there any changes that we have to take? The third meeting is with the development team. بناء على الأول والثاني نشوف إيش القرارات اللي ناخدها. Then we go to the development team and we start to يعني give them the orders to work on this and that. يعني أعتقد هذا كان الفينومينا الأساسية اللي إحنا كنا نشتغل عليها يعني. In addition to so many other things يعني، ولكن هذا هو كان المين كورس اللي إحنا كنا بنشتغل عليه on daily basis يعني.
Okay. Amazing to hear. For any of the audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to send it through the Q&A. We're happy to address any questions from your side. So I think the first question is, would you target and penetrate corporate clients, and how would you serve them?
أعتقد خلال الفترة حقت الأزمة نفسها it was really difficult for us to penetrate the corporate market، لأنه كان التواصل جدا صعب والكوميونيكيشن جدا صعب. كان بالنسبة لنا مرة أسهل إنه نروح للمنشآت الصغيرة أو متناهية الصغر، لأنه it was very easy to come with a contract during هذه الكرايسيس يعني. ولكن أعتقد على المدى البعيد إن شاء الله من أول ما نرجع، as I have mentioned Hassan, that after we analyze the market, the day one that we are planning to go back and we kick off, we have really put in our plan so many things. One of them is the corporate relationship and penetration. بس ما هو خلال الأزمة.
Okay, and while we wait for other questions to come through, let me ask you a few things. So what is, now you mentioned you're going to push forward further على some of the initiatives that you did. How is your budget post June? So you're testing at this point in time and you want to push through with full product launches on some of these new revenue sources. So كيف البudget post June, and what's your expectation sort of going forward?
والله يعني if you want me to be very transparent، أنا حقول لك إياها بكل أمانة. إحنا متوقعين يعني تقريبا حدود 300,000 that we're going to inject related to the marketing الفترة الجاية. أعتقد إنه ما راح نبدأ على طول مباشره that we take from our reserve او كذا ونحطها 300 ونقول يلا نعلن، لانه still we have to evaluate the ROI وال return of investment to psychology of behavior of the people. So كانت البلان حقنا انه احنا we still continue لمده 3 شهور من البادجت كات اللي احنا عملناه في الرواتب، في الاب، في الديفلوبمنت، في المصروفات. We will save these 300 and we will put it into the marketing، بحيث انه ما نكون صرفنا شيء من الريزيرف حقنا، ولكن صرفنا من الحاجات اللي احنا قد وفرناها خلال الأزمة هذه أو خلال الأيام القادمة أو الشهور القادمة لمدة 3 شهور إلى شهرين. دين بعد كذا نبدأ نقيم الأمور ونبدأ نرجع الموظفين اللي كانوا عندنا في السابق. يعني اللي حاب أقوله إنه حتى المبلغ اللي راح نحطه في التسويق الفترة القادمة راح يكون من مبلغ إحنا أصلاً وفرناه. عرفت؟ لا. لأنه definitely حسن pre-corona is something different than post-corona. You never know how the people will start to behave with your marketing component. خلاص؟ It could be very very positive. يمكن يكون ال return of investment أعلى من أول pre-corona مرة بكثير. And it could be a little bit worse. So no one knows yet.
صح. So yeah. I mean, look, that makes sense. It makes sense to grow, use your cost cutting for marketing at this point in time. وعندك reserve funding that you will decide on later بناء على progress that happens over a couple of months. So you're breaking it down into phases and kind of planning for the short term, medium term, and the long term.
Yes.
There's a question which is, I have a very small business and I make about 500 riyals a month. But my product is very good. I lack the power to reach customers. How can I fix that?
تجاوب انت ولا انا حسن؟
لا جو اهيد.
طيب انا اعتقد انه انا I will share يعني الاكسبيرمنت حق الطبيب. طيب احنا في طبيب جربنا كل انواع القنوات للتواصل للكاستمرز، جربناها يعني وعملنا فيها good analysis صراحه. فور اكزامبل طبعا ناخذ الانفلونسرز اللي هم المؤثرين، جوجل ادز، سناب شات، انستغرام ادز، and then اللي هو الجروث هاكينج تكنيكس. طيب and your social media channel. انا اعتقد يمكن هدى جوابي لك اخذ الاول اللي هو your social media. انا اعتقد انه انت مثلا ما اعرف ايش نوع البزنس اللي انت بتقدميه، ولكن مثلا على سبيل المثال اعطيك طبيب. احنا طبيب في قنوات التواصل الاجتماعي عندنا تقريبا توتال فولورز حدود تقريبا 4 مليون. كيف جو هذولا؟ حاولنا نعمل جروث هاكينج تكنيكس، كنا نقدم نصائح طبيه عن طريق صفحات قنوات التواصل الاجتماعي. يمكن انت تدوري في الانستغرام طبيب جروب. فكانت النصائح الطبيه هذه عباره عن جروث هاكينج تكنيكس to bring users to follow القناه حقتنا to follow Tabib Group channel. Then from time to time we try to convert these followers from our social media channel which we own to our app. هذا أعتقد رقم واحد والأسهل والأوفر. بس all what you have to do is to look into a good idea where you can attract users to your social media channel. الشغلة الثانية كانت تفضل حسن.
Let me ask you the same question in a different way. So
yes.
imagine yourself back 4 years ago.
Yes.
And your situation is a little different now with the followers and customer base that you have. At the early stage, what helped you the most at that point in time in order to attract
growth hacking حسن. growth hacking techniques. احنا basically في طبيب في البدايات it was growth hacking techniques. هذا كان رقم واحد. احنا كان عندنا قنوات تواصل اجتماعي. in addition to that كنا نرسل في الانستغرام حقنا للاشتراك في خدمة الرسائل الطبية أو خدمة النصائح الطبية اللي بنرسلها عن طريق الواتساب. خلاص كل يوم كان يجينا 500 مسجل. من هذيك الأيام حتى الآن عندنا أكثر من 120 ألف رقم في الواتساب بنرسل لهم نصيحة طبية كل يوم. It was an indirect way for us to bring users to the app لأنه بيكون limited cash عندك في البداية. So growth hacking techniques is rule number 1. It's a rule of thumb. هذه رقم واحد. متى ما توفر الكاش now you can bring your customers through a different channels زي السناب شات، زي الانستغرام، زي الجوجل ادز. ولكن I always say يعني برضو rule of thumb don't start working on these paid channels سواء مؤثر او انستغرام او كذا الا لما يكون عندك قنوات زي جوجل اناليتيك او طريقه اللي تحسب فيها الريتيرن اوف انفستمنت وتحلل بشكل مره كويس البادجت اللي انت حاطه في التسويق وكيف انعكس عليك في التطبيق. If you don't have these tools to analyze your campaign, don't go and don't burn your money there. لأنه you will never understand the customer behavior. How do they behave to your campaign? يعني أعطيك مثلا إحنا بدأنا حملات كبيرة في السناب شات. سناب شات عندنا كل التولز اللي أنت تتوقعها لتحليل البيانات، ولكن it was something different when we add the snap pixel. خلاص. snap pixel is a one way to basically trace your customer. خلاص. trace the user who watch your ads. It was something totally different than the Google Ads tool or than the Google Analytic tool. خلاص. So you need all of these tools, you need all of these components before you start injecting any cash related to the campaigns. فأنا هدى باختصار how to bring customers growth hacking techniques رقم 1. متى ما توفر عندك كاش استخدمي القنوات المدفوعة زي السناب شات and others, but don't go there unless you have the tools to measure and to analyze the return of investment. واحضري كورسات اونلاين فيهم كلهم موجودة. يعني be certified in each of them. أنا حسن I'm certified in Google Ads by the way. أخذت الكورس and I have passed the exam and I didn't spend Google Ads. يعني ما دفعت ريال على Google Ads unless I felt that I'm certified on it and I can go there. لأنها فيها حرق فلوس مرة كبير. Even
I think
Snap Ads.
That's really good advice. وبرافو على certification. I didn't know about that. That's new. I think one other thing that you were a big advocate or you focused on was ensuring the customer care post bringing the customer as well to ensure.
Of course, yeah, I forget to mention this even. A good customer experience. هذه واحدة كانت من الحاجات عندنا اللي عملت word of mouth and the people they start to share the app with others through a very good word of mouth يعني. So at the beginning, good word of mouth and growth hacking. تفضل.
I think that's it for the time that we have today. I think there's one more question that came through. Let's just ask that. Will you focus on ladies services while offering to men as well? What's your view?
Yes, for sure. احنا الان نخدم السيدات في التطبيق لاهداف استراتيجيه بحته زي ما يقولوا، ولكن for sure 100% we will continue serving men and women ان شاء الله في اقرب مما يتوقع الجميع باذن الله through the app باذن الله. يعني احنا الان محصورين للسيدات لاسباب يعني استراتيجيه فقط لتقييم الوضع الحالي before we add the service related to the men. ولكن ما في شيء يمنع اطلاقا يعني.
Thank you so much for that, Doctor. Thank you very much for your transparency and the open discussions. We hope it benefited entrepreneurs available as well, helps guide you on what to do and what's important during COVID times. Just to recap, focus on your revenue sources, cut on the expenses to the extent possible, stay close to your customers, stay close to your investors as well. Constant communication with the team and external parties is extremely important. We wish you all the best of luck. And just one thing I'll add is stay tuned for Falak's flagship acceleration demo date as well. We have a virtual demo date upcoming on the 22nd, on the 2nd of May, at 10:30 p.m. So stay tuned for that.
Of course. شكرا. أنا حاب أشكرك صراحة على اللقاء الرائع هذا، وطبعا ما نخفي دور فلك كمسرعة فلك، يعني دور رائع جدا. All the entrepreneurs really need يعني نوع من العلاقة والcorporation زي اللي بيتم مع فلك، لأنه that's what entrepreneurs need. They need consultation, they need guidance. تحياتي لك وتحياتي لأضواء على فلك، المشروع الرائع والرائد واللي نطلع له إن شاء الله إنه يكون أكبر وأكبر في المستقبل يعني بإذن الله.
إن شاء الله we will always be able to do that for our startups more so.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
شكرا مع السلامة.